The United States and Mexico just tied 0-0 for World Cup qualifying at Azteca. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to TMTV, and welcome to another 7 Things We Learned episode where every day following a U.S. men's national team match, we do a video on the 7 things I learned from that specific game. Now, with that said, there's definitely more than 7 things. Feel free to comment what you learned down below. I'll most certainly be reading the comment section. Now, this is a series that we totally came up with the idea by ourselves, a totally unique idea that we didn't copy from George Benson. Yeah, we totally didn't copy from him. Regardless of that, make sure to hit that like button before we start the episode, and don't forget, this Saturday, we'll be releasing the USA versus Panama preview. Sunday morning, I'll be doing a live stream before the game, and then I'll be attending the game. So if you want to meet with me and you're at the game, I'll be at Church Street a couple hours before kickoff. And yes, we are getting closer and closer to qualifying in Qatar, which hopefully it will happen. And on Sunday, I'll cover the scenarios that we need for the next round to qualify directly with 1 game left, because you never want to leave it to the last game. We learned that in the 2017 cycle. With that said, everyone, thank you very much. Let's play the intro and let's go to lesson number 1. Okay, lesson number 1, and L3 is finished, jokes aside. This is what lesson number 1 is. It's we are better than Mexico. I mean, I already believe that, and I know probably if you're watching this video, you likely did too. But this game was another proof that we have the better players now. We are the better team. Look, in 2021, we beat them 3 times, and sure, they were at home, so that was an excuse. But look, we went to Azteca now and we played in Mexico. We didn't have Serginho Dest, our best right back. We didn't have Brendan Aronson, probably our best sub and a great option on the wing. We didn't have Weston McKennie, which was probably our best player throughout the entire World Cup qualifying campaign. Giovanni Reyna, which is also one of our most important players and most talented players, was also returning from injury. And it was still a 0-0 draw. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I got a feeling on this game that we could have actually won this. So yeah, jokes aside of the L3 is finished jokes that I love to make, I think it's time for Mexican soccer fans or L3 fans to just accept the fact that this current generation of the United States is far better than the current Mexican generation. And honestly, this might be the norm for a while or maybe forever. But right now, it's a reality. Lesson number 2 is Greg Berhalter really does not like Joe Scally, or does not rate him, or doesn't like him. I don't know. So DeAndre Yedlin is suspended for the next match, so he won't be available. Along with that, Reggie Cannon was sent home. He's leaving camp because of COVID. And Greg Berhalter has called in Shaq Moore. And also in the past, he's called players like Brooks Lennon ahead of Joe Scally anymore. So Yedlin's out, Cannon is out, Dest is out with an injury, and Joe Scally still does not even get an opportunity. Now, look, this is very odd for me because no other sane national team in the world would call up a La Liga 2 player that's on the bench ahead of a Bundesliga player that is in and out of the starting 11. Yeah, Scally has gotten benched for Netzer and Leiner lately in Borussia, not Dortmund, but he has been getting a lot of minutes this season. He's a reliable Bundesliga fullback. Shaq Moore hasn't even been a lock-in starter in La Liga 2. You know why no other national team would call up a player like that? Because they wouldn't even look at La Liga 2. So it doesn't make any sense. It just looks like Greg really doesn't rate and doesn't like Joe Scally. I don't know why. It might be a situation similar to John Brooks. Who knows? But right now we got the full confirmation at this point. Lesson number 3 is a little bit of a silly lesson, but it's just that the accumulation of yellow cards rule that leads to a suspension, it's kind of stupid and pretty annoying. So right now, the United States won't have Tim Weah and DeAndre Yedlin for the next match as they are suspended for yellow card accumulation. Also, Tyler Adams is on a yellow, so if he gets a yellow card next game, he won't play against Costa Rica. Personally, I think this rule is kind of stupid and just annoying, but it's whatever. I don't even know why I included this as a lesson. I think essentially it's just out of frustration. Lesson number 4 is what I'm going to call the Italy lesson, which is different from the Cuva lesson. Let me explain. So the Cuva lesson that we learned last time is never leave qualification to the last game. However, the Italy lesson is never leave qualification to a single-legged knockout round. As you guys probably saw, Italy got knocked out of the European qualifiers in the semifinals of the playoff match against North Macedonia. 1-0 win for North Macedonia with a late goal scored at the 91st, 92nd minute. So essentially what I'm trying to say here is the United States, whether we leave it to the last round or not, we can't finish fourth and go to the Interconfederate playoff. We need to lock in top three. The Interconfederate playoffs will likely face New Zealand in a single-leg knockout round. And as I said, just like Italy against North Macedonia, anything can happen. Those games are very dangerous because you get a red card or a PK, you have to deal with it in those 90 minutes, right? A lot can go wrong. So just like Cuba, you don't leave it to the last game. The Italy lesson, you don't leave it to a single-legged knockout round. Okay, and now a quick word from our sponsor. Tired of having big tech collecting all your data and spy on you? Well, our sponsor might have the solution to that. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering fast connectivity, most servers, and next-generation encryption to make sure that everything you do online stays secure. Plus, you can use NordVPN on all your computer and devices no matter the operating system. With NordVPN's unlimited bandwidth, you never have to worry about a slow connection either. And plans start at under $4 per month. So grab your exclusive NordVPN deal right now by going to nordvpn.com/Bleav. That is Bleav as in BLEAV. Use the code for 70% off on your NordVPN plan, plus an additional free month. It's also risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. So again, thank you NordVPN for sponsoring the channel. Now off to lesson number 5, and lesson number 5 is that Greg Berhalter's in-game management is still very iffy, or just very bad or questionable, just not good. Look, the result, the 0-0 draw away against Mexico, is a great result. It's a very good result. And whether you talk about the strategy of going for a draw and holding the draw, if that's the right strategy or not, that's not what I'm questioning. But look at the subs throughout the game. The subs that he placed in towards the end of the game were meant to hold the draw. However, they invited Mexico to attack us and almost led us to losing. So Mexico was less dangerous before those subs that were meant to hold the draw came in. Along with that, it seemed like we wanted to play in transition, and sending in Pifak as the center forward is probably not ideal if you want to play transition. You can put Timothy Weah there, but let's say Weah gassed out. Honestly, Jesus Ferreira is faster than Pifak, probably better in transition. Even Jordan Morris as a center forward would be a better option than Pifak if you're going to play in transition. So yeah, I'm not saying play Jordan Morris as a center forward. I'm just saying that if you're going to play in transition, it would have been a better option than Pifak. Now, the starting 11 was fine. I do have some questions here and there about playing a Costa and Tyler at the same time, but that was fine. But the in-game management from Greg, how he wanted to play in transition, how to hold the draw, the subs weren't good. I don't care if you're pro Berhalter, anti Berhalter. That is something everyone should agree upon. And even though it got the result done, we almost lost because of those subs towards the end. They didn't make mistakes, but inviting Mexico to attack us was not very smart. They weren't dangerous before that. Lesson number 6 is something I say a lot at the USMNT Abroad series, and that is that Giovanni Reyna is our most talented player. And honestly, I'm not going to say it's not even close because we have guys like Pulisic, Weston McKennie, many others, but it might not even be close. He might be the first American to ever be world class if he keeps fulfilling his potential and stays healthy, obviously. Look, in this game, you could see it in every single touch. He was by far the most technical and most talented player in the field for both teams. And this is not even an in-form Reyna. He's coming back from an injury that kept him out for months. Didn't he also take 5 or 6 Mexican players on his own? It was completely crazy. And I do also have a question. Was it just me, or he did look a lot taller than before? Yeah, I got a feeling that Reyna looked taller, or at least bigger, than back in the first CONCACAF World Cup Qualifying when we faced El Salvador. Look at both games and tell me your opinion. Lesson number 7, and the last one of this video, is that not having a player that can put the ball in the back of the net, a true 9 or a wing or a midfielder, anyone that just can put the ball in the back of the net, is really hurting the U.S. men's national team throughout the entire World Cup qualifying campaign, including this game. Now, just imagine, we don't need a world-class center forward. What I'm saying is, imagine if we just even had a Kyle Larin from Canada. Not brilliant, but scores when given enough chances, or even when given a few chances. Pulisic and Pifak in this specific game against Mexico, you just can't miss those opportunities. They have to put the ball in the back of the net. We talked about how one of the big differences and advantages that Canada has been having is the fact that they have Larin and Jonathan David, two players that if you give enough chances, they score. And just to think that we could have had Jonathan David with the U.S. men's national team at one point kind of upsets me a lot. And again, I'm not saying we need a world-class center forward, just a guy that can score. And Pepe at one point in World Cup qualifying was that guy for a few games. That would be enough. And even wingers, right? Liverpool has Mo Salah and Mane. I'm not saying we have players at that level, but wingers can be the goal scorers as well. Kyle Larin plays on the wing quite often, and he's still scoring goals. Pulisic should have scored. Pifak also should have scored. And if they scored, we probably would have beat Mexico, because I don't think Mexico would have scored if we had a goal. That didn't make much sense of what I just said. But that does it for lesson number 7. All right, everyone, that does it for this episode. Expect the USA versus Panama preview to come out this Saturday, and expect the live stream on Sunday. So I'll be talking about the scenarios that we can qualify at the next match in Orlando. And it'll just be a 30 to 45 minute hangout Sunday morning before I head to Exploria Stadium at Orlando. And if you're there, I'll probably see you in the stadium as well. I want to thank you all very much for watching. We are this close from returning to the World Cup and putting Cuba behind us. This close, but we're not there yet. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and have a great day.